10th Amendment of the Constitution reads, "The power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, are reserved to the states respectively or to the people."
This amendment is a significant piece of one of the most influential parts of the U.S. government system, the federalist system and federalism. The federal system that the U.S. government works under gives the federal government supreme authority over some topics like national defense or international commerce, and it gives the states supreme authority over other topics like redistricting the U.S. House of Representatives or conducting elections. Now, we all know about the president and members of Congress in Washington, D.C., and most of us know who our governor is and where our state capitol is and what our state capitol building looks like. But what about our local government? There are roughly 89,000 local government bodies in the U.S., and we, the citizens of the United States, vote in local officials every year. But asking around, I couldn't find anyone who could tell me the names of my town selectmen. I've never seen television ads for members of my town school committee, and I've never seen any of the members of my town meetings speak at any national party conventions. So how are these governments, made up of our next-door neighbors, fitting into the federalist system of the United States? What do? And why should we care? I did some research, and I asked around to get some answers.
At the local government level, even if you're setting policy, even if you're setting budgets, everything you do has an immediate impact on the residents in your community. The best part about local government is that you take actions and you can immediately see the impact of those actions. So many of the services that hopefully we take for granted, because if they're being done well, we take them for granted, are performed by local government. Your trash being picked up, your roads, your sidewalks, your schools, your police department, your fire department, and well beyond that are all provided by local government. And again, if those things are all operating fine, you probably don't think about them very much, but they are actually very complex and difficult to run. And it's local government managers and local government elected officials that help make those run appropriately and create a community and a place where people can feel safe and have a good quality of life.
We deliver services on behalf of state government with the local representatives that actually talk to people, that provide the social services, that operate the jail, that run the county roads.
Frankly, if you're a mayor, nobody cares what your party is. They care what you're getting done. You don't have time for a lot of bluster and baloney. Your constituents expect results.
Now we have a grasp on the authority and duties of local government, but how do local governments interact with higher levels of government in the federalist system?
So we regularly talk to state government, both the governor, the lieutenant governor, and the legislature about both general government aid and school funding that comes from the state to help cities and towns. So that's probably my biggest interaction with state government in general. More specifically with our local legislative delegation, annually during the budget process, we'll talk to them about some local priorities that they might be able to have funded in the state budget. And then if there's any legislative priorities that we'd like to see passed, if there's laws that we're interested in that are being considered, we'll interface with our state senator and our 2 state reps. But again, generally, it's mostly about finances and what we can convince state government to do to help out local government.
Although local government's interaction with state bureaucracy is interesting, as a public school student, I am also curious to learn about local government's role in providing a quality education for me and my classmates. To get some answers, I talked to a member of the school committee.
The school committee is like the board, so similar to a board of directors. So we are responsible for financial oversight over the school budget. We're responsible for policies, and we evaluate, hire, and fire the superintendent. We have oversight. We make sure that that money is spent correctly. We make sure that the budget items are right, that they're not wildly out of bounds. And we have oversight over policy, and it's very similar. We can initiate things, but we also look to the superintendent and her team as well. So why should people care? Well, actually, people care passionately about this, despite the fact that very few people vote, because it's their children. And so one of the things I actually like doing is talking to parents who are very upset. I mean, I don't like that they're upset. I'm happy for that they're upset, that something's not working for them or that for their child. But I like hearing that, and I like helping when I can, because there's nothing more important to people than their children, as I'm sure you can imagine. I think there's a lot more interest in local government because, in truth, we can't actually affect very much of what goes on the national level, right? I mean, but we can potentially affect what goes on the state level. Each state representative represents 40,000 people. that person lives in your town, lives near you. School committee members, right? We're at large people, we're representing 40,000 people. Town meeting members represent 2,000 people. And so you can actually, walk up to the person's house and talk to them. So we've seen a lot more interest.
People don't realize just how much of an impact the federal system's levels of government have on them. People ignore their municipal government because it's not noticeable, but it's not supposed to be. But if it didn't exist, major aspects of Americans' everyday lives, the basic services we all count on, would be left unattended. The grand rotundas of the State House and the Capitol building are not the greatest symbols of American republicanism. The spirit of our self-government lies rather atop the worn steps of Town Hall.